Ms. Terrence Pickett. Welcome to the cyber sanctuary of Encounter Live. This is our morning fellowship, Sunday morning fellowship. We do a weekly fellowship we just launched on last week on Thursdays, 7:30. I wish that you join us there. But this is our Sunday morning time of fellowship. Some of us aren't ready to go back into the building for church as of yet. Others of us are busy. We don't have time, whatever the case is. We should not be robbed of the opportunity to hear a profound word and to gather with each other. So this morning I am kicking off a new series called The God That Goes Before. And today's title is Faith for Daily Frustrations. You don't want to miss this. Do me a favor, invite somebody to share, and we'll be back right after this. And good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Do me a favor, invite somebody to share. We've got a number of things that we're going to do this morning, but I promise you we're not going to be here long. We've got about 30 minutes. So in that 30 minutes, we want to maximize our moments. And in the process of doing that, I want you to do me a favor, invite somebody to share. Today, we are launching a new series called The God That Goes Before. You know, there are so many things that we're faced with on a day-to-day basis. A lot of times we employ our faith for what we consider to be large things, future goals, and sometimes we overlook the things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. You need faith for everything in the day. Matthews 11:6 is where we're drawing our text from today. It says, "Give us, Lord, our daily bread." It was a part of the prayer that Jesus taught his disciples. Give us our daily bread. Well, that daily bread is also a grace. It's an ability. It's a fortitude. It's strength to deal with everything in the run of a day. So we're kicking this series off with faith for daily frustrations. I'm trying to tell you, you don't want to miss this. Invite somebody to share. We're talking today from the series, The God That Goes Before. We need to know and understand that our lives have been mapped out. There's nothing that can happen in our life. There's nothing that can happen to us that God is not aware of. And he has made provisions for us ahead of us. Yeah. And sometimes we have to be reminded of those provisions. It's also Black History Month. And one of the things that, and for those of you that celebrate Valentine's Day, I don't believe in it. It's one of the hallmark holidays that I probably hate the worst, because I think what we do on Valentine's Day, we really should do every week of our life. We ought to always be showing something, saying something, doing something to show the one we love that we love. So I don't need your government to try and make any more money off of me by setting a day aside where you raise the prices when it comes to flowers and candy, cards. And you know we're going to pay it because you've played with the expectation of people. And now they believe that their worth and their value is contingent on this day. So now many people are forced into wasting money. But if you celebrate Valentine's Day, bless you, do what you do. That's just my personal soapbox, my personal conviction. However, make sure you tell the ones you love that you love. So Matthew 11:6 says, give us our daily bread. So the Bible is written with similes and metaphors. It's written with truths pointing to a greater truth. It's based on principle. The Bible in some cases is not literal. Some cases it is. I don't want to get into exegeting, give us our daily bread, but I do want to use that metaphorically speaking, if I can. Every day that there is a grace that is available for us to use and to have to work out things that occur and happen in the day. I don't know about you, but I have to be reminded that God is still in control, even in the most minute thing that happens to me in the run of a day, meaning people not keeping their word, provision for the day. And that provision doesn't just fall on money. What happens if you have two vehicles and both of them are in the shop? You get to the rental car place to rent the car and your insurance claim didn't go through. You decide that you're going to use your personal money and allow the insurance company to reimburse you. You pull your card out to get this rental car, and all of a sudden the card does not work because the machine is down at the rental car place. It's not your fault. The money is there. These are the daily frustration. These are the things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. You're getting ready for work. You woke up late. You threw on something. You get ready to walk out of the door and you can't find your keys. I'll give you another one. You're in a relationship. You're married. Maybe you live with someone. Maybe you don't live together, but you're in a relationship. You get in a heated argument at the top of the morning or at the fall of the previous evening. You wake up with it on your mind. It offsets your day. These are the things that contribute to daily frustrations. You're supposed to clock in on the internet for your job online at a certain time, and all of a sudden the internet in your house is not working, or the power goes out. Somebody hits a transmission, you have no power, no electricity. These are the things, believe it or not, it's the small foxes that spoil the vine. They eat at us daily. These small things eat at us daily, and if we aren't careful, we'll become so consumed with the small things that now these small things begin to regulate big places in our mind. And when we are frustrated, we don't handle things right because we can't think clearly. It clouds our judgment. In addition to it clouding our judgment, it changes how we deal with those that are around us, those that we love, those that we care for. And believe it or not, it even affects you in the kitchen. Your food is not as good when you're frustrated, because the love and the care and concern, you begin to omit those things. And there are things that you would do when you're in a good mood and when you're really preparing this dish, that now you want to do the bare minimum because you don't want to be in there. You need to get out of there because there are so many moving parts. There are so many things that are going on at the same time, and you are frustrated. And most of the frustration that we deal with is done in silence. I started to title this Silent Frustrations. I really did. But most of the frustrations are silent. We can't talk about it because we don't really have anyone to vent to. that will really understand the position of our heart. It's not that I'm complaining. It's not that I'm whining. It's not that I'm ungrateful. It's I'm frustrated. And I need someone to talk to. And I think we have to position ourselves with each other to know when a person is venting and know when a person needs advice. And then we need to know when we should give advice and when we should listen. And there's a sensitivity there that you really have to train yourself to follow, because we as people, we're conditioned to reply instead of respond. We listen to speak instead of listening to understand. And it causes problems in relationships. And if we're not careful, we begin to misunderstand each other, misinterpret each other, and it adds more fuel to the person that's suffering in silent frustration. So let's look at the word frustrate. The dictionary says that it means to prevent someone from doing or achieving something, to feel upset or annoyed, typically as a result of being able to change, not being able to change or achieve a goal. Feeling or expressing distress and annoyance, especially because of inability to change or achieve something, prevented from progressing, succeeding, or being fulfilled, unable to follow or be successful in a particular area. That's the definition for frustrated. So this morning, in the time that I have left, I want to give you some things to start exercising on a day-to-day basis, things that I have to do to remind myself again that God is in control. You know, it's easy to know that God's in control when we have the confirmation of the blessing in our face. It's easy to know that God is in control when the thing that we've been praying for manifests. It's easy to know that God is in control when things are well. But when things are not flowing according to plan and we don't feel our best, can we still believe and trust that He's in control? And that's something to think about. So we have to remind ourselves that even in the most minute areas of our life, God is interested in that area, and there is a level of grace, which is empowerment, that He is entrusted in us, that He gives to us every day to deal with the things that happen to us in our day. Now, here's what happened with us. A lot of times we take on more than we're able to handle, and we violate the grace of the daily bread. We violate that grace because we're taking on too much. We're doing too much. Our hands are in too much. And as a result of everything that our hands are in, there's a level of responsibility that comes, and that responsibility that comes with the things that we're in also adds more pressure. It robs us of time. It puts us in a place where we have more responsibility. When you have more responsibility and less time, these are the places where frustration begins to grow. So if you're taking notes this morning, the first thing that I would tell you to do is be mindful of the things that you take on in a day. You're not Superman, Superwoman. You can't do it all. I don't care how great you are. You can't do it all. Your day has 24 hours in it. I'm going to say that again. Your day has 24 hours in it. And what that literally means, you have 24 hours every day to accomplish everything that's been assigned to you. And so many times we take on things and people who are not a part of our personal assignment, but we're looking at the need. We think we're Jesus, and we start helping people out of our heart, and we violate the things that are in place that we should be doing. We take on the stresses of others, trying to be a solution for them. And we get involved, and a lot of times we care more about their problems than they do. We care more about their success than they do. And slowly but surely, the grace or the daily bread that has been provided for us is being eaten away by responsibilities we have no business taking on. We have no business. There are things we have no business putting our hands on in the day. You only have 24 hours. You know, I automatically know every day of my life I'm going to lose at something. And this is the part of faith that a lot of people omit. They've created this illusion of faith, and they've become delusional in their faith because faith has prohibited them from looking at reality. I don't care how much you trust God, how much you know God, how much you love God. You still don't have but 24 hours in a day. And if you're honest with those 24 hours, 6 of them at least you are asleep. So you have 18 left. 2 hours you're getting dressed or unpacking the day. Now you're down to 16 hours. You're going to spend at least 8 of those hours at work. Now you're down to 8 hours. In that 8 hours, 2 to 3 of those hours are dedicated for commute. You're down to 5. Now you've got 5 hours. You've got kids, you have people you love, you have businesses, you have job, you have school. There's so many other things that are going to eat up those 5 hours, not to mention breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Let's take an hour away for that. You've got 4 hours to do what you need to do outside of your job to accomplish the goals for the day. And if you really think about it, we don't have the time that we think we have for social media. We really don't. What are you doing in this hour? So now we don't reach daily goals because we don't abide to the daily bread, that daily grace that is given to us to accomplish our goals in that day. We violate that grace. We violate that bread. And here's what happened now. What we didn't accomplish today spills over into tomorrow. Attached to the goals that we didn't reach today is more anger, frustration, and anxiety that goes tomorrow. And before you know it, every day of our life, we're living under the gun. We're living under frustrations. We're living under irritation, aggravations, and dysfunction now becomes our norm because we keep functioning as if nothing is wrong, but everything is falling apart. And it all begins because we did not honor our daily bread, the grace that's available for us today. Listen, God is only going to give you so much strength in the day to handle what you have in the day. Now, added to that frustration, believe it or not, is how you feel in your body, your diet. Your diet contributes to your mood. I ate berries and nuts all day yesterday, protein stuff, and I felt so good. Did. Then I had mashed potatoes and turkey for dinner. For dessert, I had cashews and grapes. Oh, and I felt so good. Drunk a lot of water, woke up this morning ready for the day. So a lot of times we violate our daily bread, the grace that is given us for today, by eating things that weigh us down, make us feel heavy. We don't have regular bowel movements because we don't drink enough water. Your body's dehydrated. You don't even know it. You're filling your body with all type of toxins and poisons until now it's unable to function in the capacity that God created it to. And it contributes or feeds or adds fuel to the fire of the frustration that we're under just trying to make it through the day. So I've got a few things that I want to show you this morning on how we can deal with these frustrations. All right. Will you go with me? If you're taking notes, you want to write this stuff down. I promise you it'll bless you. First thing we need to do. Here's the first thing we need to do. We need to be intentional and plan your day. You need to start with a plan. The reason the day gets away from us is we don't have a plan for today. When you don't set goals for the day, you open up the opportunity for anything to take the day. But when you have a goal for the day, and you've got to judge whether you're going to go out with your girlfriends, your homeboys, you're going to surf the internet, or you're going to surf social media, you can compare on whether you need to do those things based on the accomplishments that you've made in the day. But if you don't have a goal, you won't know. You've got to be intentional and plan your day. Start your day out with the plan. One of the things that I practice personally is at night I go to bed and I plan the next day, or I plan my week ahead of time and I judge each day. Every day I come home. What did I do today? What could I have done better today? Was I nice today? There's a self-evaluation that I do every day that contributes to my overall success in that day. And if I didn't miss the mark today, thank God for new mercies. Lamentations 3 says that his mercy is new every morning. He gives us brand new mercies because he intends for us to do brand new things. But you can't do greater things or better things if you don't have a plan just to do things. You need a plan for your day. You need to start your day out right by eating what's necessary for you to feel good, drinking plenty of water, and you need to wake up telling God, thank you for allowing my lids to open. It was no goodness of my own, but it was by your mercy, your grace, and your love. And for that, I start my day with thanksgiving. Then I plan, all right, how are we going to tackle today? What are the goals for the day? What are my goals? What are my responsibilities? And what's expected of me in this day? All these things should go into planning your day. You have to think about these things. You have to be intentional. You can't just wake up and go and whatever happens, happens. When you leave your day to circumstance, then circumstances take your day because you're ill prepared. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to be intentional and plan your day. Write it down. A short pencil is better than a long memory. The next thing you need to do is make priorities for your day. Everything is not important. You need to know what needs to meet and what to turn away. You are not the Messiah. You can't be everything to everybody, be everywhere at the same time. You've got to start prioritizing your day. What is priority? Everything is not an emergency. I don't care what your job and your boss tell you. I never forget I worked for a company, Everbank. I don't know them to call these companies that, but I did. I worked for Everbank. And every day, I kid you not, and I'm not exaggerating when I say it, I had at least 50 to 100 emails that were marked most important with all these exclamation points, and it was in red. Everything was important to them. Everything should be top priority. Listen, that stuff will stress you out. You've got to take charge of your life and take charge of your day, and you've got to determine what's going to be good for you today. It may be important to them, but based on my workload and what I have to accomplish today, it is not top priority for me right now. You cannot allow other people's emergencies to be your emergency. You got to make priorities for the day. And if you look at the fine notes at the bottom of this slide, it says you may need help from someone close to you to help discern this. In other words, you may not know. This is what community is all about. Communion. It's having people in your corner that you can bounce things off. Hey, what do you feel about this? What do you feel about this? And relying on the wisdom from the people that God has assigned to you. Everybody's not your assignment. Everybody shouldn't have a front row seat in your life. You are not the answer to everybody's problem. And this is why men have to listen to their wives, their significant others, because they can generally see some things in other people as it relates to their motives. Man, I can't stress this enough. We need each other in order to live. A lot of the grace that we're looking for in the day comes from God through somebody. So you need to lend your ear to somebody's wisdom, and it will help you govern your day, and you will find that the load will be lighter. So you need to know what needs to meet and what to turn down. You can't be there for everybody. You can't do everything. You are not God. You're not omnipresent. Neither are you omniscient or omnipotent. You have limits. So you've got to make priorities for your day. The third thing, it's about to get ugly. The third thing, folk, conflict resolution. Now, I can do a whole live on each one of these slides. I'm throwing them together, touching them. We're going to unpack some of them during the week. Conflict resolution. Listen carefully to what's being said and stop listening to speak. So many times when we're communicating with each other, we're speaking out of the emotional component and we're not listening to what's being said. One of the earmarks of understanding is communication. I know what you hear based on what you say. So we've got to learn how to communicate to each other, for each other. So if I say to you, hey, this coffee is too hot, and you say to me, do you like it? Well, that tells me you're not listening. That tells me you're trying to multitask and I don't have your attention. And that's okay if I don't have your attention, but stop trying to spread yourself so broad to be so much that you lose moments of concern with those you love. All of this stuff adds to daily frustration. And if we're going to activate faith in helping us deal with these daily frustrations, then we have to tell the truth about where we are. So we've got to learn how to communicate. If you look at the bottom, it says it takes time to build rhythm. Until then, stay in harmony. That's relationship stuff. And I am out of time. I have a couple of more things. We're going to have to finish this next, either Thursday coming or next Sunday. We will finish this. Believe it or not, these are the things that eat at us slowly. They become personal, silent frustrations. And it changes our entire outlook of life and hinder us from walking in the faith that's been provided for us in the day. Hey, hopefully you've loved and enjoyed this morning's teaching. My time is up. My time is out. I've got to go. For those of you that are a part of Encounter, thank you for showing up. Thank you for inviting somebody. If you would like to give to support this work of the ministry on this side of the vineyard, the Cash App is at the bottom of the screen. You're not obligated to give. It's solely up to you. Do what the Lord has guided you to do. Or if you feel in your heart, hey, I like what this guy is doing, I want to be a part of it, you can start by sowing and supporting. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. And remember, in all of your getting, get understanding. You all have a blessed week. Godspeed. And remember, there's faith and grace for you every day. You've got to locate it by being intentional.